Hank, heel. Heel. No, heel. All right, well, welcome back to Animal Training and Development Center. Today I'm here with Hank, and Hank is here for our Alpha Dog program. He is on lesson 4 of 10 as far as our daycare training days go. And we're here to give the midway report as to how he's doing and show you some stuff to practice. Hank is about a year-old yellow lab, as you can see, and he's very strong and very happy, typical happy-go-lucky Labrador Retriever, likes everybody, likes other dogs, and likes everything. So it makes him a lot of fun to be around, but it also makes him easily distracted. So about anything that he sees, he wants to go check out. So whether it's a kid that comes in the front door or a person that comes in with a dog, Hank is raring to go and greet people. We love the friendliness. Of course, we want to keep it under control so that he doesn't pull us down when he sees something on walks and things like that. So we've been practicing a lot on leash with him, and as you can see, we've got him equipped with a prong collar, and also he has a remote training collar that we're using in conjunction with the prong and the leash in order to get the best results. So we're going to show you everything we've done so far, and then we're going to give you some homework to practice with him at home, and we're going to get you started in doing some drop-in classes with us in just a little bit. So excited for that. The first thing that we teach every dog, and Hank included, is how to start this unspoken command. We call it the unspoken command because we want a dog to assume that once the leash is on, that they should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. So as I begin to wander around the room here, you'll notice that Hank is going to kind of keep an eye on me enough to where he doesn't let the leash get tight. And that is ultimately what his job is. It's an unspoken command because I shouldn't have to say anything. It's just one of those things that a dog should start to learn, that whenever they're on a leash, they should never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. And this is the same thing I teach every dog. It's very valuable, and once they understand it very well, then it's something that you could pretty much count on even when things like other people and dogs walk by them. Your dog can learn not to get to the end of the leash. Now, it takes more practice, and around here, we're working on it, but I can tell you it's going to take more practice once we put the leash in your hands to get the same point across to him. So the idea that for you, when you're practicing, is right before he were to reach the end of the leash at any time, we would just proactively tug right before that leash gets tight in the direction he needs to go to put some slack in it, which is towards you typically. So whether he's too far ahead or too far behind or too far to the right or too far to the left, I'm just monitoring him, and on a 6-foot leash like this, when he gets about to that 5.5-foot point, I'm just going to proactively tug in the opposite direction of where he's going. He doesn't have to stay on my right or my left. This isn't the heel command, which we'll get into next, but it is the unspoken command that just has the one rule: never get to the end of the leash at any time for any reason. To practice this, I recommend starting off in your own living room. Just take the leash and just hang out in your house for maybe 20 minutes. Sit down, watch a little TV. Even when you're sitting, the rule still applies. And by the way, you could decide how much leash he has, so I can give him all of 5.5 of 6 feet, or I can take some slack inside over my hand again like that, and maybe sit down on a chair and watch some TV, and then maybe after a while I decide I want to go to the kitchen and get something to drink, so I get up and start to walk away, and he should get up and start to move along with you. And when he only has 2.5 feet like he does now, he has to be that much more aware because he doesn't have as much time to react to keep slack in the leash. His rule is still the same rule. It doesn't matter how much leash we give him, he should keep some slack in it. So you want to practice a little bit with shorter lines, a little bit with longer leash, and ultimately as he gets further along, can go to a long line, maybe 15 foot, which I wouldn't recommend just yet, only because that just gives him more time to build up momentum if he's going to get excited and try to bolt after something. We just don't want to deal with that, especially on the snow and ice that we've got out there right now. So practice that about 20 minutes at a time. You know, you don't have to walk around the whole time, but get used to walking around with him from room to room, maybe upstairs. If you've got an upstairs, it's the same rule. Walking up the stairs, he should keep some slack in the leash for you, or, you know, back down the stairs, all that good stuff, practice around the house. When he's doing really well with it, you can get some distractions in the mix. Like I've got some treats in my pocket right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss him out beyond where the leash goes and see if he tries to get him. Right there, I caught him. He was just about to end the leash, so I proactively tugged back. And now I'm just going to walk around the room like I was before, making sure as I do that he doesn't strain toward the end of the leash to try to get to those treats that are on the floor. Very nice. He just walked right past them, keeping slack in the leash for me there. And again, he doesn't have to stay on my left side yet. Nope. Caught him right there trying to get to the end. He's going to learn that no matter what he sees, he shouldn't try to race out to the end of the leash to get to it, whether it's a treat or a squirrel or a bird or a rabbit or whatever it is that has his interest. Good boy. We're going to leave those treats there for now, but we're going to let him have them in the end, so don't worry. He's going to have some good treats for doing a good job here in just a little bit. The next thing we taught him is this simple sit command, and he already kind of knew it when he came, but we've improved it quite a bit because we're teaching him that sit means sit and keep sitting no matter what happens while you're sitting. So as I walk a circle around him, he should be able to keep that sit command. Good boy. Good, Hank. And if I go the other direction, same idea. He should be able to hold. Good boy. Until we give him the release word. Okay. Okay means he can stop sitting, do whatever he wants. I know what he wants to do is go get those treats, but we're not giving him the slack to do it. And so when I give the release word, he can do whatever he wants except get to the end of the leash. Remember, that command is always in effect, and that's why we don't have to say anything about it. So once you say okay, he can get excited and be happy that he's done sitting, but he shouldn't get so happy and excited that he tries to get to the end of the leash. Sit. I got a tennis ball here, and he loves to play ball, and I love to play ball with him, but we're teaching him that if you're in the sit command, if the tennis ball bounces, you have to hold the sit position. No, sit. Good boy. Until I, once again, give that release word. Okay, good boy, Gus. He's still thinking those treats. But if you give the release word, he can get the ball so long as the ball hasn't gone out beyond the reach of the leash, right? So once again, just always be aware that once you give the release word, he's still under that command, the unspoken command, to where he shouldn't get to the end. Very good. The next thing we taught him is that heel command. And this is the one that you'll want to use a lot when there's a lot of distractions. So if you're walking past somebody with another dog, or if you're going across a busy street where there's some danger and distractions, you want to make sure to use the heel command. Gus, sit. You've chosen your left side, so what I'm doing is I'm positioning myself to where I'm in the heel position, and that means his right paw and my left heel should be right next to each other, and parallel to each other, I should say, and his head should be at or slightly behind my left hip. As I give this command to heel, then, he should maintain that position every step of the way. If he gets a little clingy towards you, use your leash and just tug him kind of away and say the word no. Anytime that you tug, you're saying that word no, and then we're going to repeat that command that he's not doing, which would be heel. Good. No, heel. Right over the top of those treats. Good. When we stop from the heel command, he should sit automatically. No, heel. Good. If he hadn't, I could say no heel and correct him up and behind his head to pivot him into that sit position, and that would be correct. Or I could just say no sit as though I'd already said it. At the end of the heel command, he knows he's supposed to, so that would work as well. If I lead with my outside foot, I could tell him stay, and he should hold that position in the sit. But when I lead with my inside foot, my left foot, and say heel, that's when he should get back up and fall into that very strict position that he's in right now. No heel. He shouldn't sniff the ground, get along, try to grab a treat during the heel command. Right over the top of those treats again. Good boy. Right over the top of those treats again. Good. Very nice. Good. And I like to have you practice some figure eights. So we've got 2 cones here to work around. At home, you can use 2 chairs or 2 books. It doesn't really matter, just 2 points of reference so that you can practice your figure eight patterns. I love practicing figure eight patterns because it helps us practice both left and right turns. So as we give this heel command, as I go left or right around that cone, in through the middle, and then left around this cone, that's it, and in through the middle, right over those treats again, and right around this cone. That's a good boy. Just like that. Very nice. Good boy. And okay, there you go. So I love using treats the way that you saw there, where at first it was a big distraction, a big temptation to disobey and try to go, demand them and get them for himself. So I worked him through that and made sure that he knew that if there are treats on the floor and you're in the heel command, you can't have them. If they reach outside your reach, they're outside your reach on the leash, you shouldn't try to get them. But once you've done good about not trying to get them, I'm going to let you have them. So he starts to figure that out, and it's going to help our training and yours too. So I would recommend you practice some of those. And then finally, for now, the last thing we've been working on at this stage in this training, sit. Good. Is the down command. Down. Good boy. Now, if he doesn't do the down command when you tell him, you're just going to step on your leash and help him toward the ground. And he's been doing really pretty good about that. Once again, if I tell him stay and leading with my outside foot, my right foot, he should now stay put in that down position. Good boy. And then back here again, heel. Good. He can get up and heel right out of that down position for you. You can maybe do another figure eight for your practice. Good. Making sure he stays on your left and his right paw falling in line with your left heel. Very good. And one more down. No. Down, just like that. Good. Good boy, Hank. Good boy, Hank. Okay, that's the release word, and that's the end of this session. So practice your unspoken command, practice your sit command, your heel command, and finally practice a little bit of the down command. Once you've done that a few times, then we're ready to schedule your first of 4 private sessions. And once you've done that first of 4 private sessions, we're going to invite you to start participate in our group drop-in classes, which we'll be happy to tell you about soon. So thanks for watching, and as always, we appreciate your trust and confidence in us, and we'd like to wish you happy training.